When dumb cops arrest FBI agents. Hello friends, Private Investigator Purr at your service. You might believe that law enforcement officers always have the upper hand during confrontations. But in these incidents, the tables were turned, as officers accidentally arrest FBI agents and got in trouble. Anton Iaghinov. During a traffic stop, Anton Iaghinov, an ex-FBI agent and U.S. Air Force specialist, was stopped by sheriffs for an obscured license plate. The deputy declared, pinpointing a minor infraction.
To turn with the sheriff's office, the reason I'm stopping you is your plate's obstructed. Whatever that thing's got, you got to take it off, okay?
Then the officer started picking a fight, clearly looking to incite the agent.
When you went to driving school and a cop pulls you over, what they tell you?
Oh, you pull over when it's safe.
No, you pull over immediately, okay?
This is where it becomes evident that the officer is just trying to assert dominance, because it is not necessary to pull over immediately if it isn't safe. However, the officer keeps finding reasons to pick a fight with the agent. The situation quickly intensified when officers noticed emergency lights on Iaghinov's vehicle, leading to suspicions. One officer inquired, challenging the legitimacy of such equipment on a civilian vehicle. Iaghinov calmly justified the presence of the lights. I do contract security. Some of the work I do requires it.
You contract security?
Some of the work requires to have a siren.
Turn it on?
Sure.
The officer is not convinced and asks the guy to step out of the car.
Enforcement, right? You're not a law enforcement officer?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you work security, right?
He asks very specific questions. So you're not like law enforcement, right? Iaghinov kept repeating that he is working contract security, but the officer got increasingly suspicious. After searching his pockets and finding a Federal Bureau of Investigation badge, Iaghinov faced disbelief and was instantly handcuffed. The officer invaded his privacy, searching him without consent. An officer remarked, scrutinizing the authenticity of Iaghinov's identification. Despite now knowing who he is, the cops continued to search the agent without consent. The cop tried to justify having the agent in handcuffs. Their suspicions escalated as they questioned the origins of his badge, insinuating theft or impersonation. They pressed, unsatisfied with his clear affiliations. The cop kept asking suspicious questions. Although the agent gave clear directions, it was obvious the cop wasn't catching on. The two cops kept emphasizing that the agent was in the wrong for having the red and blue lights, which was illegal. But according to the law, it is allowed for contract workers of law enforcement agencies, which the agent was and had proof of. They detained him for a supposed crime that he was not even committing. Agent James Burke. While this agent didn't get harmed, this next one had to sue the police for the damages they caused. On July 7, 2020, ATF agent James Burke experienced a distressing encounter with local police while on duty. Tasked with confiscating an illegal firearm from a resident, Burke's mission took an unexpected turn with the resident. Instead of cooperating, slammed the door and alerted the police, falsely reporting a break-in. The arriving officers, unaware of Burke's federal authority, demanded, but the cop kept going. Despite identifying himself as a federal agent, Buck's refusal to comply with their demands to get on the ground, under the belief that his federal status exempted him from such treatment, worsened the situation. "Get on the ground, federal agent. Why won't you show me your ID when I get there? Don't move forward." Eventually, Buck complied and laid on the ground. "You guys are making a big mistake." However, tensions escalated further when attempts were made to handcuff him. Buck panicked. His pleas continued as officers finally checked his ID, confirming his ATF affiliation. However, due to Buck's initial resistance, he was detained in a patrol vehicle for an hour before release without charges. This confrontation led Buck to sue the police department for unlawful arrest and excessive force, claiming physical and psychological harm. After Morgandale, things got even more shocking with this next encounter between a cop and an agent. In a case of mistaken identity, an undercover agent became the subject of police detention due to a purported resemblance to a wanted criminal. Approached on the street, the agent was confronted by a team of officers who asserted he looked like a criminal they'd been searching for, initiating an interaction based on appearance rather than concrete suspicion. When approached, the agent said the officer revealed that they'd stopped him because he looked like someone they were looking for. This approach immediately raised concerns regarding the legitimacy of the stop, as law enforcement protocol mandates reasonable suspicion for detaining an individual, a standard seemingly unmet in this instance. The encounter reached a turning point when the agent revealed his FBI identification, challenging the officer's presumptions and authority. When they checked to see his ID, the cops suddenly stopped making eye contact with the agent. The only response the cop had was they knew they were in big trouble. Muskogee County Jail Incident. However, this next incident shows how cops can go power crazy sometimes. The Muskogee County Jail found itself at the center of an incident of July 16, 2022. Amidst a severe overcrowding crisis, officers from various departments were forced to wait outside to book their suspects. A situation worsened by a citywide crime suppression operation. As the jail's capacity was stretched thin, the county sheriff mandated a processing order prioritizing local deputies, followed by state patrol, then Columbus police officers last. This directive, however, was met with resistance, leading to heightened tension among the officers. "You better hope I don't see you get your effing A whipped on the effing street, 'cause I'm going to drive the F off. And you can tell your GD superior and everyone else I said that." One deputy, adhering to the sheriff's orders, proceeded to cut in line, sparking outrage among the Columbus police officers present. One officer lamented, signaling the beginning of an interdepartmental standoff. The situation escalated as officers threatened to file complaints against each other, with one even remarking, while it was completely legal for the deputy to cut in line, the cops became enraged about this. The confrontation peaked when Deputy Blaine Atkins found his vehicle blocked by Columbus patrol cars. a deliberate act that further inflamed the situation. Caught in a stalemate, Atkins confronted the Columbus officers, demanding. Despite the deadlock, the altercation avoided physical violence, but underscored the deep-seated frustration and rivalries between the departments. The deputy tried to give out a warning. Eventually, a call to the sheriff was placed. This call shows that the whole incident was deliberate, not a simple misunderstanding. An ego fight was leading to important calls for help by citizens being ignored, showing how egotistic cops and their inner fighting can be harmful to society. And that concludes our exploration of encounters when dumb cops tried to mess with their very own fellows in blue. Thanks for joining us again on Imperfect Criminal with Private Investigator Purr. Over and out.